So 52 hours of stand-up comedy, and yet no one is talking about it. You did not trend. This is the reason why Deeone is doing bad as a stand-up comedian. Now, this is Nigeria Express. In case you are new to the channel, please subscribe to this channel. I just want to do an analysis of the comedian Deeone, who did an attempt at the longest stand-up comedy. It was aiming at 60 hours. I think the previous time was like 40 something hours. It was aiming at 60 hours, but he stopped at 52 hours. Now, this thing is I wouldn't say trending, but it's trending for the wrong reason. Now, when he was actually doing the show itself, it did not really trend. All right. Now, when he was doing the the comedy, the stand-up comedy world record performance, it did not trend. Now, when you go online, I actually subscribed to his channel because of the comedy attempt. Now, I stayed on his channel and I noticed that the live stream count was never above 100 and something, and I don't even think it got up to 150. I'm not trying to throw shades at Deeone right now. I'm just saying the fact waiting be happen. This thing did not trend actually, and although the venue at which he did it, you could see people in the room, nonetheless, and of course there were laughs here and there. And I just want to give my personal reason as to why I think Deeone is not doing so well as a stand-up comedian right now. So for Deeone is best known for being the antagonist to Verydarkman. Is the boss to Verydarkman, for lack of better words. And they always attack Verydarkman. Deeone is always attacking Verydarkman, and sometimes it gets deluded, because sometimes I know say look, Verydarkman is not a perfect human being. Sometimes in the F up, and even myself, I call out the F up. Like, if you check my previous videos, I like Verydarkman a lot, but when he does some things that I don't like, I'm not a robot follower. I will say, no, you know what, this thing Verydarkman do, me, I no support them. You understand? No, but for Deeone to make it his life goal to just come outside and everything Verydarkman does, he's always criticizing. In the long run, it's starting to bite him in the ass. Now, I'll tell you why. As a comedian, now many people that know Deeone now don't even know him as a stand-up comedian. They just know him as this guy. They think he's just a social media person, right? They don't know him as a stand-up comedian. Now, I think it's just bad PR that happened to Deeone, because using this Verydarkman thing to actually come outside and get a little bit of publicity, you could have used this thing and start building your reputation so that people will know you as a stand-up comedian. Nobody knows Deeone as a stand-up comedian. He was a former BB Naija housemate, and people don't even know. Myself, I'm not the biggest fan of BB Naija. I barely watch it. So I had no idea Deeone was even a former housemate of BB Naija. It was because of Verydarkman I actually knew about Deeone, when he was attacking Verydarkman and his NGO and stuff. That was when I knew about Deeone. And then I saw, so this guy was a former housemate. You see, with a stand-up comedian. And I watched the stand-up comedy, and I found Deeone's stand-up comedy to be funny. It's not the funniest, like nobody say I laugh, I won't laugh, kill myself or that, but he make me laugh. You understand? Like, he's a funny guy. I can see his sense of humor, and it's kind of like my own sense of humor, and something will go make me laugh. So I found him to be a little bit funny. But the problem now be say, look, when it comes to stand-up comedy right now in Nigeria, I'll tell you, Deeone is one of the funniest stand-up comedians, like average stand-up comedian. Because if you check those other ones, I don't even know what they do. Like right now, stand-up comedy as a craft in Nigeria is dying. There's a lot of people who go online to just go and be begging for money. I don't even watch stand-up, but I see the new cats now. There are people that, pardon me for not knowing their names, but there are some young guys now that are really good at doing stand-up comedy. They're not doing this whole going out to be begging for money, and they are doing the craft, and you can see them making jokes that are actually funny. So that's why I said Deeone, I'll put him in the middle, because he's not the funniest. I'm saying the truth. I'm not trying to be sentimental here, but I'm not saying because I'm a fan of Verydarkman I'm going to just bash Deeone. No. Deeone is an average stand-up comedian. Like, as a stand-up comedian, Deeone, they make me chuckle once. I go laugh when I see this. Even when I watch the world record, the Guinness world record, I chuckled a few times. Like, something make me laugh once or twice. So it's not that bad as a comedian. But right now, I think it's just a PR nightmare, because you are a comedian and you are best known for insulting or tackling somebody else. Comedy is a sentimental business. Now, if you want to do stand-up comedy, you cannot do stand-up comedy and not be loved. I don't know if you understand. Like, when you look at people who are successful at stand-up comedy, there are people who people actually just like. Like, you look at Brain Jotter, for example. Now, Brain Jotter is not even a stand-up comedian; it's just a regular comedian. But Brain Jotter is very likable. You can barely see people who are talking bad things about Brain Jotter. Look at Sabinus. Sabinus is very likable. Now, if you go back and look at the old comedians now, people will be make mouth well. Look at Agodai. Agodai is very, very, very likable. Like, it's somebody that you want to just laugh. Look at Basket Mouth. Basket Mouth too. Although Basket Mouth is a witty kind of comedian, but then you don't see a lot of people that just dislike Verydarkman. That just dislike Basket Mouth. But when it comes to Deeone, now that's why I said it's a PR nightmare. When it comes to Deeone, there's a lot of people that just don't like Deeone. And that is bad as a comedian, because here's the truth. You are not going to laugh at someone you don't like. So that's why I said comedy is a mind something. And if Deeone was actually smart, he would have found a way to switch, turn this. Okay, now you have gotten their attention from this Verydarkman fiasco and whatnot. You would have looked for a way to switch these people's mindset. If you find out, go take, can't twist people's mindsets to now seeing him more as a stand-up comedian. What I would have done if I was Deeone, using this thing now, this Verydarkman thing, I'd have started doing something else. Introduce myself as a comedian to people, because people don't know you as a stand-up comedian. Introduce myself as a comedian to people for a while before I start, selling, stand-up comedy shows and trying to break world records and all that. I would have made sure that I have come across to people, if possible, you okay, stand-up comedian, like if that is your bread and butter, except maybe get another thing where say you do. If say stand-up comedy na your gig, you will play the game. You have to play the game. You think that there are not a lot of people who don't like Verydarkman like you, or who are in your position, but they don't come outside and do commentary on it. Why? Because they know they can't. They need these people. The Rattles are a very huge amount of the population right now. Forget all the ones where in the one the Yab Rattles, they know plenty. Let's be frank. Rattles are a very significant amount of the population. You cannot have those people to be against you and say you want to succeed as a stand-up comedian, because Deeone now, he go come outside and say, his comedy is for the 1% of the 1%. Bro, you don't see that. When you are in the market of selling seats, you don't come outside and say it's for the 1% of the 1%. No, if you get sense, that's not how you do publicity. For the 1% of the 1%, I will be like, there's no need for me to buy this ticket now. I'm not 1% of 1%. Make una 1% go. You can trick people into liking you, but you cannot force people to like you. So him coming out and also like, is the 1% or the 1%? But no mind. It makes it turns people away from you fast. So I think he's actually burying himself as a comedian. Now, like I said, he's an average guy, average comedian. Like I laugh at some of his jokes. I find him to be quite funny. That there are most other comedians with dig ground now. If you say a beggy they go do for stage. I find Deeone stand-up comedy to be actually funny. But like I said, he needs be good PR. Like, you've gotten this attention for Deeone went to channels. Deeone, there was no mention of Deeone as a stand-up comedian. If there was, I can't remember. That's how bad it was. If you are a stand-up comedian, my brother, you use all this opportunity to push yourself. Are you an activist? Even if you want to be an activist, Verydarkman is an activist too. So you cannot say, okay, I want to be an activist, I have to first go against an activist. What is your point? And this is why I'm going to do another video for Verydarkman and why Verydarkman is so successful right now. Verydarkman, there's a lot of problem going on in the country right now. There's a lot of people who are suffering, who are going through a lot right now. Verydarkman is coming like a hero to them, like he's bringing this hope for them. Now, Deeone, people are suffering. I don't know if you are privileged. I don't know if maybe una get money for una family and that's why you're not seeing the suffering that people are going through. But now, somebody that is coming out to be like the hero of these people, you are just coming out to constantly bash him, criticize him, and in the process, you are insulting the people that are actually supporting this guy. You're 1% of the 1%. You are insulting these people that are supporting this guy. You are acting like you're not a human being, like you're not feeling the pain the people are going through. There are ways to go about these things, So that's what I'm saying. Okay, what is your point at the end of the day? You are bashing Verydarkman. It comes out sometimes like it's kind of get weird, especially when I see people who are coming outside to like praise Tinubu and all that. Look, support who you want to support, but let's face the fact. As Nigeria right now, we are going through a whole lot of problems, and who else will go blame? Now our leader will go blame. That means these guys are not doing the right thing. So you can't. Only a foolish man will come outside and right now and start saying, the president is trying, the government is trying. Right now we are seeing that they are not doing very well. So you can't come outside and be saying, they are trying. And somebody who's talking against them, you are attacking the person, coming out to be like as if maybe yes, you are supporting the APC, when you can obviously see that these people are not actually doing well. So that's why I said Deeone is not playing his cards right as a comedian. Come on your mouth for all this kind of political issue. Stop having, even you can have beefs with people. Of course, you can have beef with people that if you funny enough, you see this whole Deeone thing, like when they beef people, I find him funny. Like Verydarkman, as they beef Verydarkman, sometimes it makes me laugh. Even when he beef Davido, there was something Davido said about him having dry lips, and every time with Deeone they come do video now, he go carry lip balm, I mean a lip gloss. I don't command what they call him. You go always they apply him, say they apply him for the video. Bro, that thing was funny. When he came outside and he did a skit about Radio Guard. Bro, that thing was very funny. So that's what I'm saying. You can still attack people and still be funny, but then let it not be your brand, still find a way to make sure that you are a comedian first, because that's your own selling point. But that's why I think is the problem with Deeone, because the world record is something that we should have encouraged him. A lot of people suppose don't come outside, can't give this guy encouragement, say, bro, you did try this world record, man, congratulations, let's stand behind him and make sure that this thing goes well. But you're attempting a world record. Hidabasi did their own. People online we know hear the end of him. Everybody they tweet about him, it was trending. Even he did a video about it. Verydarkman even talked about the Hidabasi's world record stuff. But Deeone did for the longest stand-up comedy set, and nobody's talking about it, and you're a comedian. It's not a good look. And he did his show. I'm here to see how the show went. Anyways, he did the show after the stand-up comedy stuff. He did his show at TBS, and we're still yet to see the numbers. And even as of now, Guinness World Record has not officially given Deeone the award for the longest stand-up comedy. And if you are going off of what people are saying online, my brother, I doubt if they go even give that guy that instead, because a lot of people are coming online to say they are tagging Guinness record. They are saying they should not give Deeone that stand-up comedy, because that award for the longest stand-up comedy, because it was not a comedy show, because people were not laughing. And bro, if Guinness World Record decide to go by technicalities, they can say yes, of course there has to be a lot of laughs before they can call it a stand-up comedy show. If not, anybody can just stand in front of you and talk for 43 hours and call it a stand-up. But really, if you want to go technically, if people don't actually like what you are doing as a stand-up comedian, then what is the point of you calling yourself a stand-up comedian? So that's why I said Deeone is doing his thing and is actually starting to bite himself in the ass. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this whole Deeone situation. Make I know what you think, because I feel like say we supposed give him kudos for trying this stand-up record thing. If not for just the record thing, I still say we supposed give him kudos, say at least for attempting something to break a record in Nigeria. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and if you are new to this channel, subscribe. This is Naija Express. We give you reviews, reactions, and story out of Naija. Peace out.